Aloha! We are getting closer to Chinese New Year, which is on February 4th, 2020. Today, I'm super excited to share with you the animal energy of this year. As in Western astrology, where you have a specific animal that you're associated with. And in the example of Aries, has the ram. In the Chinese zodiac, you also have an animal that you're associated with. And there are also 12 animals in that particular zodiac. And they circulate through the 5 different elements. So there's a 60-year cycle, 12 animals over here times 5 different elements combined to make a 60-year cycle. And so each year we have a different animal. So we're cycling through the animals. And then we also are cycling through the elements, which is something that we use in Feng Shui to help balance energy. I'm going to be doing a video that's going to have a lot more information about this coming year and the energy of this year, the industries that will be good, and more generalized information. But today I'm really focusing on you and on your animal energy for the year. As you can see from this chart, you can determine your Chinese zodiac animal. So for example, if you were born in 1965, you would be a snake. So you kind of follow over, here's the 1965, and you follow over to the snake. 1964 would be a dragon. However, there's one caveat to this, is that these dates don't start until February 4th. So if you were born in January of 1965 or any time January 1965 or February 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, you actually would be the year before, which would be a dragon. So that's something to be aware of if you were born in January or February. So this chart can give you what your Chinese zodiac animal is. There are also other zodiac animals that have an association with you and that can help you during the year or can impact the energy for you for each year. And that's based on the hour that you were born, and the day that you were born, so the day of the month, and the actual month that you were born. This year, I am giving you a little bit more information. So if you know the hour that you were born, you're actually going to be looking at up to 4 different animals that are impacting you this year. And you'll see that as we get into the slide. The other thing that I want to share with you is each animal of the Chinese zodiac has a couple hours that are good for them. And this also connects with the hours of birth. So if you're born in the year of the dragon, you may not have been born between 7 and 9 a.m., but these are good hours for you, is between 7 and 9 a.m. So oftentimes what I do with Feng Shui is I'll recommend that someone that, for example, is a horse, that they do their cures or place their adjustments between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. because those are good times for them. So this can also be something that's handy for you. You obviously can take a screenshot of this if you like and save that information. First, I'm going to share with you which animals are going to have a really good year, and then which animals are having a mixed bag year, kind of an okay year, average year, and then a few other animals that are challenged. So I'm just going to give you sort of the broad overview, and then we're going to dive into each one of the animals and the energy for each animal. One thing I do want to share is that there are a lot of different perspectives on the Chinese animals and what type of year they're having. So you can get a whole bunch of Feng Shui practitioners together, and they might all have a little bit different opinions on where some of the animals fall, whether they're going to have a really good year, a mediocre year, average year, or if they're going to have a challenging year. And it's never just all challenge, and it's never just all good, right? We're humans, so we're going to have a variety of things that happen to us throughout the year that we have to deal with. So I wanted to just share that piece of things before I share my perspective perspective on which animals are going to have a really good year, which animals are going to have a neutral or a mixed bag kind of year, and then which animals may have a little bit more challenging year. Okay, so the first group is those that are having an extremely good year. And those would be the snake, the goat, the rooster, the pig, the rat, and then the ox. So there's actually 6 that I've got in the extremely good year. So this is a year for those animals, those people, to be a little bit more fearless. It might be a good year to, start a business, to write a book, to make a move, to start a new career or a new job, that type of thing. You've got some good energy behind you, right? Okay, and then we've got what I'm calling the neutral year, or those that might have a little bit of a mixed bag this year. And those would be the dragon, the horse, and the monkey. And so they just have a little bit of a mixed bag this year. I couldn't really put them into the category of extremely good year, although the monkey is in 3 harmony with the dragon. So they do have a little bit of extra support this year. And then the potentially very challenging year, we have the dog. And the reason for the dog is this is his clash year. Every animal in the Chinese zodiac has a clash animal, and the dragon is the dog's clash. And so they call it the year breaker. And everyone goes through this at different times. And so this is a clash year. And I'm going to talk a lot more about that when we get to the dog, because it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. It just means change, lots of change. And then also in the challenging year, we've got the rabbit and the tiger. And so those that are having a very challenging year, this is just a year to be more cautious, to move more slowly, to take things at a slower pace, to step back, not take risks necessarily, maybe lay low, and then they might just find some roadblocks that come into play. But of course, you can still have a good year no matter what animal you are. So one thing that I recommend that you carry a rooster with you. The reason for the rooster is a secret friend of the dragon. And so that secret friend can essentially run interference for you between you and the dragon, right? And so having that rooster, particularly if you're having a challenging year, is important. But I really just encourage everyone to carry some sort of 3-dimensional talisman of the rooster to remind you that you have help, right? And so this could be a figurine, it could be a stuffed animal, a necklace. I have a keychain that I hang just by my desk, so I see it every day. So it should be somewhere that you can see it on a regular basis. So maybe in your bathroom, maybe it is actually on your keychain if you use your keys every day. Maybe it's hanging somewhere or sitting somewhere. It could be a figurine. And I will put links below to some roosters for those of you that are looking for a rooster talisman. I have some possibilities for you just from Amazon, right? Okay. One caveat to this: rabbits. If you are a rabbit, the rooster is your clash. So you don't want to carry a rooster around with you this year. So if you are a rabbit, you are having a challenging year, but the rooster isn't going to help you because they're the clash animal. What I would recommend that you do is you carry either one or all 3 of the harmony animals. There's 3 animals in harmony together with the dragon, and the other 2 are the monkey and the rat. So you could carry a monkey talisman, you could carry or place somewhere a rat talisman, or you could get something that has all 3 of them on there, right? Like a little keychain or something like that, that has all 3 animals on there. The monkey, the rat, and the dragon. That's the 3 harmonies, okay? And again, you're just going to keep this somewhere that you're going to see it daily. It could be in your dresser, on your bathroom, on your desk, on a keychain, anywhere that you're going to see it on a regular basis to remind you that you've got some help, right, throughout the year. As I talk about each animal, you'll see a summary screen. There's a lot of information for you here, so I recommend that you pause the video on your animal energies and screenshot it. I won't be talking in detail about everything on the summary screen, so I want to point out what's there. First, in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see your animal's natural element. This correlates to the animal associated with the year that you were born. Below that, we have the birth years, month, and time. So if you were born in 1964, for example, you are a dragon. That's your main animal. However, if you were born in April, or you were born between the hours of 7 and 9 a.m., you also have dragon energy in your chart. Below this, we have the most positive and challenging months for dragons in the year of 2024. And of course, this will be different for each animal. In some cases, you may see the same month in both the challenging and positive. That's not a typo. They have sort of a mixed bag of energy that month. So they can be somewhat challenging and can also be really, really good. We're going to start with the dragon because it is the year of the wood dragons. Then we will move through the zodiac signs in their natural order. So the last one then will be the rabbit, since rabbit was first last year. So for our dragons this year, it is the year of the dragons. So it is your year. And the perception can sometimes be, oh, it's a year of a dragon. I'm going to have an amazing year. Not necessarily, right? That's sort of a misperception, and as evidenced by the fact that I put the dragons in the neutral category. And the dragons this year, in order to have a successful year, do need to be very, very decisive. This is something that's going to help you. So don't put off making decisions. Even if you make the wrong decision, just make a decision, right? And my attitude about decisions is you can never make the wrong decision. You're always going to learn something about yourself through whatever decision you make. And so make those decisions this year. Also focus on being flexible and adaptable and maintaining a balanced approach to things. This is a good year for you to build connections with powerful people. Why? Because you have the energy of a positive star that has people bringing money to you. So that's kind of a good thing. So connect with the powerful people and they will bring you money, right? And then also be open to opportunities. I mean, I think we all want to do that, but in particular, the dragons this year, be open to opportunities. Focus on your personal growth this year, is that inner work. And that's really going to be a theme for everybody. When you hear me talk on the other video about the year of the dragon and period 9 energy, it is about inner growth. It is about personal growth, spiritual growth, that type of thing. This year too, for the dragons, just know that you might do something and sort of regret it. And you can sort of beg forgiveness for things later. But one of the things that you need to be mindful of is avoiding competition. So a lot of times this year, you're going to feel like you want to compete. You want to come in first. You don't need to do that. It's not important and it's not helpful for you to be in that competition mode this year. You also need to be really mindful of sabotaging yourself, of undermining your own efforts. So pay attention. If you feel like something is not making progress, look at what you might be doing to hinder your forward motion, your forward progress. So realize what you're doing and stop is the idea with that. And this year is also great for dragons who are artists, those in particular that creates weird or unusual or odd art, unique art, are going to do well this year. It's going to be great for those kind of artists. Okay, next up is snake. So the snake, you have this ability this year to solve problems. And these are problems out in the open. And so when you have this willpower and determination and flexibility, That helps you navigate some change. And as a reminder, snake is one of the really good animals this year, having an extremely good year. You have a relationship harmony energy, a star that's associated with relationship harmony. You're able to learn things a lot faster this year. But the most important thing for you this year is to be seen. So get a platform, put yourself out there, social media, podcasts, blogs, vlogs, whatever it is. The more that you share your wisdom and your talent with other people, the greater your wealth, right? The more you put yourself out there, the more flow you're going to have this year. And then because of that flow, you're going to have an opportunity to enjoy life and to really learn how to enjoy and appreciate life. Okay. So that is going to be something that's going to be coming for you this year. You do need to be aware of your emotions this year. So it's really important for you to control your mindset, to prioritize self-care and your well-being this year. So that is going to be important for you to take care of this year. And then just, take calculated risks this year for you snakes. You see the birth years there for the snakes. The birth month for snakes is May. So if you were born in May, you have some snake energy in your chart, and that will impact you this year. And then those that were born between 9 and 11 a.m. will have this snake energy impacting you this year. Okay, next up is horse. I'm a horse. I was born in the year of horse, and I also have the birth time as a horse. The birth month for horses is June. Horses may experience some ups and downs this year. I put the horse in the neutral just because the horses do have some really good stars that are helpful to them this year. And so this year you have access to sacred power. This means that you can pursue spiritual training, as you do have a gift in that regard. And if you are a horse and are looking for some training, I have a whole course on Feng Shui and spirituality and connection with your angels and guides that I would love to chat with you about. So if that's something that you are needing this year as a horse, reach out to me for sure. And then horses also have fame coming in for them this year. So this is going to be a really good year for horses to build your brand. People will notice you. They will see your name in lights. They will know your name. So it's a great year for getting known, for having fame expanded for you this year. You also have the energy of a star that kind of takes care of problems for you this year. Things that come up that are negative, it sort of takes care of them for you this year. And something to be aware of is that you can't please everyone. With this fame also comes haters sometimes, and you're not going to be able to please everyone. To avoid those sort of petty people this year. You also need to be aware of accident prone or natural disaster prone places. So maybe not taking a vacation to somewhere that has a lot of volcanoes or hurricanes or things like that during, those seasons, for some of those weather related things, those seasons. Avoiding that is going to be good for you this year. And then also it's interesting that we as horses need to avoid funerals as much as possible this year, because they can really pull our energy down into a downward spiral, and it's going to be real difficult to get out of that. And there is a Feng Shui cure that I use when I do go to funerals or hospitals. And if you absolutely have to go to a funeral this year, reach out to me and I will share that with you. Also, for horses, we need to be aware that we may be a little bit more annoyed this year. However, it's our actions that are causing the issues that are annoying us. So we have control over this. So when you get annoyed about something, pay attention, like, oh, what am I doing to cause this for myself? And then just this year, Avoid impulsive decisions. Make sure in relationship in particular that you're expressing yourself really clearly, having patience, all of that type of thing. And then this last piece is really important. You need to see yourself as worthy of what you want to get all the good things that are coming to you. Otherwise, you're going to repel them. So again, working on your worthiness is going to be really important. I have lessons on this in my Love Your Life program. So again, if you need that, reach out to me and we will talk about that. Next up is the goat or the sheep. They use those terms interchangeably. And these people were born in those years. And then the birth month is July. And the birth time is between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. So if you were born between 1 and 3 p.m., or you were born in July, or you were born in one of those years, you have some sheep energy in what we call your chart. So this year is a year to be patient, to be humble, to be practical. You're going to be solving a lot of problems behind the scenes this year. So that can be negotiations, behind closed doors, that type of thing. And you can solve these problems and your own problems even because you have helpful people just showing up for you. The thing about this is, though, you have to be super clear about what you want in order for the people that you need to appear. So it's going to be really important for you to be clear about what you want. And you also have to trust them to do their job. So they will come and do it for you, but you have to trust them. You have to release. And sometimes when we ask our angels and guides for help, and then we don't let go, we don't let them go and do it, right? We're still holding on. We're still trying to control things. So this is going to be a year for you to, trust other people to take care of things for you. You're going to have some great ideas, particularly as it relates to entrepreneurship. I'm not saying that correctly, but close enough. And it will be a good idea for you to have people that you can run your ideas by. So maybe a mastermind partner, maybe a close friend, someone that, like, when these ideas come in, you can talk to somebody about them. Okay. This year is also going to be a year for you sheep to be super mindful of stress and your mindset and your emotions. So you've got to prioritize your mental health, your regular health, because stress does impact our physical bodies. Focus on self-care and stress management. That's going to be really important for you this year. Don't overcommit yourself, right? Don't allow yourself to be pulled into other people's problems because then their problem becomes your problem, right? Be patient, be humble, be practical, and be super clear about what you want. And the people that you need will appear to help and to do it for you. What do you do if you don't have a goat or a sheep in your chart? Well, find one. Connect with a sheep who can help you find the people that you need, because they're going to be the connectors this year. They're going to be able to connect you with whomever you need. Okay, next up is the monkey. Monkeys, you'll see the birth years up there, and the monkey was born in the month of August between the hours of 3 and 5 p.m. This year, the monkey we have in the sort of neutral zone, and the monkey does, though, have opportunities available and can use your natural talents and your diligence, your honesty, your hard work, and determination to overcome any obstacles that you have this year. You have the potential for an upgrade. This could be an upgrade in your rank or your standing at work. It could be an upgrade in terms of material property, like a new car, a new house, or it just might be more authority or more power that you get. So that you have that potential for that this year. Just make sure that all of the work that you do is your own, that you're not copying or taking anybody else's work, and that you're using high quality materials. So really appreciate good quality things. use good materials if you're actually like creating things. On the challenging side of things, be aware that there may be some people talking behind your back this year. Don't let that stress you out. Just let that roll off of you. Don't be concerned about it. You know, what they think of you is none of your business, right? In other words, also make sure that you're not flaunting your wealth. There could be some tax implications or different things like that energetically. And so just be cognizant of that. This is actually a really good year for reporters, detectives, investigators. There's a little bit of a challenging star that's good for them because they're able to ferret out information. Okay. Next up, we have the rooster. And the rooster, you're the special friend of the dragon. The birth month for roosters is September. The birth time is between 5 and 7 p.m. And then you can see the birth years on the screen there. The thing with roosters this year is you have to be really clear about what you want. You can get it if you know what you want. So the important thing for you this year is to be clear about what it is that you want, because you're the special friend of the dragon. The dragon will help you get it, right? And you have some stars that are really good for buying and selling property. For real estate, you're going to have some opportunities in that area this year. You do want to make sure that you're spending your money on things that appreciate in value. So use your money wisely. Don't buy a bunch of little things. Buy things that are going to appreciate in value. You also need to be just a little bit concerned about, like, if you ticked somebody off last year, they might try to take some revenge this year. So be aware of that. And then you also have what's called the salty pool, which is kind of a sex star, and it can be about demanding instant gratification, blurred lines. If you're married, could draw you into something. So if you're married, just go home, right? Don't get involved in anything like that, right? So it can be a year of growth and opportunities for you. Your career can definitely bring success and recognition, and you have some really great organizational skills and determination that will help you this year. Our dear dogs. The dog birth month is October. The dates of the years of birth are listed there, and the birth time is between 7 and 9 p.m. They are one of the challenging animals this year. And as I mentioned, that's because you have the clash of the dragon. The dragon is your clash animal. So this is called your year breaker in Chinese astrology terms. What does it mean though, really? It doesn't mean necessarily that you're going to have a bad year. It just calls for some careful planning, calls for making good decisions, calls for you having discipline with your finances. And the clash, it can be about a lot of change, right? And with the change there, you may have some frustration. So here's the thing for dogs. You need to decide on what changes you want this year, right? So you make the decision on the changes, and then they don't have to just happen to you. You don't have to just accept them, right? Be aware of taking the reins of your life this year. And if you do have some trouble you're feeling in your life, you're actually sort of the instigator. You're the one that's drawing that trouble to you. So similar with the horse who was drawing annoyances, you're instigating or causing that trouble to come to you as well. And it's important this year for you dogs to fight your own battles. Don't, rely on other people to fight your battles. Do it yourself. Stand up for yourself. And don't give up without trying. Make sure that you are giving it the good old college try. And this year, you do have some good stuff. So you have an ability to delegate. This is something that you need to really learn how to do this year. Find people to do the things that you don't like or want to do, and delegate and let those go. You have access to all the resources, everything that you need this year. You got access to it: time, money, people, tech, all of that. So your job this year is to be smart enough to use all the resources that you have, okay, and use them wisely. And then you do also have a positive star that takes big problems and makes them small, which is really a beautiful thing. I love that one. And there are potential new avenues of growth and evolution for you, which change does make us grow, right? And it's going to be really important, again, for you to maintain your good health, maintain a healthy lifestyle. That needs to be a priority for you this year for the dogs. Okay, next up, we have the pig. And the pig birth month is November. So I have a couple boys that were born in November. So they both have this pig energy. And the birth time is between 9 and 11 p.m. And the birth years are shown there on the screen. One of the reasons the pig is listed in the extremely good year category is they have a lot of power stars this year. And so this is a year, if you're a pig, you can move to be an entrepreneur if you're not there already. You need to solve problems this year. So that's going to be part of your year as well. And having a clear goal is going to be super important so you don't get pulled into someone else's plans or goals, right? Because you do have this ability to take massive action, the need actually to take massive action this year. You can be prepared for others to try to slow you down, but don't let them. You have the power to execute plans, to get things done this year. And part of this year is about you learning how to say no, right? So being really clear about that. Pay attention to details, and this can be really good animal energy for politicians or government jobs. This year definitely can have some opportunities for all pigs this year, and just be choosing your partners wisely. Maintain your life-work balance, all of that kind of thing is going to be important this year for you as pigs. Next up is the rat. And the rats were born in December in the years noted on the screen there. And the birth time is between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. Rats this year are also having a good year. They're part of the 3 harmony with the dragon. But again, rats, like the dragons, need to be decisive this year or you're going to get frustrated. You need to be adaptable. You need to be able to go with the flow. And this is going to be a really good year for you to learn something spiritual. So again, if you're interested in a course that walks you through all of that spirituality stuff, reach out to me because we should chat. And this is a year for you to upgrade your skill set in learning something spiritual, right? Great thing for rats this year is money can flow like water to you. We love that. If you're a rat, I'm sure you're jumping up and down around that. You can really multiply your wealth this year. The only thing is you need to take action to create a one-to-many. For example, if you're a coach and you're doing just one-on-one, you need to create a group program because the one-to-many is where the flow is going to come for you this year. And of course, you need some courage to be able to do some of the things that you're being called to do this year. There's a couple watchful things for you this year. One of the things is you need to really watch your tendency to want to fight or argue. So be more patient, right? Watch those ego reactions. And then you also need to reflect and feel your emotions, digest your emotions rather than blaming others. So that goes along with that anger thing. Because if you don't, if you keep things bottled up inside of you rats, you may have growth set up here. So if you're keeping everything bottled up, watch for growth because it will come out of your body in some way, right? So you want to be processing your emotions. That's something else that I do in my program is I teach you how to work through your emotions. And so watch for that. Make sure that you're working through your emotions this year. Also be careful about signing up for things because sometimes things aren't as they appear. You have the potential to travel for business, that could be really, really beneficial and good for you this year. And then it's going to be good for rats to focus on creativity and hard work this year, which I feel like our rats are such hard workers anyway, but that's what's coming in for you. Next up is the ox. Oxes were born in January in the years noted on the screen. The birth time is between 1 and 3 a.m. If you're born in the year of the ox, 1 to 3 a.m. is your good time. So you might be a late night owl kind of person. You have a lot of help this year, which is why the ox is one of the animals in the extremely good year category. Lots of helpful stars coming in for you. Because you're going to have a lot of good stuff coming in this year, you're going to have a lot of prosperity, a lot of good times ahead for you this year. You need to be a little bit careful of weight gain, of overindulging, right? Because you're going to have more money and more access to good food. You also have assets that will increase in value this year. And you've essentially got, and I feel like we all have this, that the universe is conspiring in our favor. But in this year of the dragon for the ox, the universe is conspiring to create opportunities for you. You need to be creating things to be able to take advantage of these opportunities. So if you don't create, if you don't do anything, you're not going to get the good stuff that's coming to you this year. And be open to trying some new things. Trying new things shakes up your chi and your energy. And you may potentially also receive a bump in your status, maybe a bump in pay, a promotion, or something like that might come in for you. A couple things to just watch out for this year is you might feel a bit lonely. There's a loneliness star that comes in for you this year. And it's also going to be important for you to prioritize handling stress and health as well. But just know that you may have someone unexpected come to your rescue and that you're a Zen master this year. Essentially, things will come to you easily if you deserve it. And what I mean by that is you do deserve it, but you have to feel like you deserve it, right? So if you want something, you must feel deserving of it in order for it to come to you. So that's a mindset thing as well for you this year. Next up is tigers. Tigers were born in the month of February. Between the hours of 3 and 5 a.m. You'll see the birth years on the screen. Tigers are having a challenging year this year. I did put them in the challenge category. It's going to be a bit emotional for them, as a little bit of an emotional roller coaster. It's going to be important for tigers to remove themselves from drama. So go travel is going to be really good. I'm going to talk about that at the very end, something to suggest for tigers to do this year. But also be aware that whatever you're willing to tolerate is what you will get. So this is a good time to have high standards, because those high standards will mean you are asking people to meet you at a higher level, right? And you can get to the next level to make changes, but you have to have consistency. You need to be consistent. This year may include a lot of parties, a lot of social activities, you being around a lot of other people. But again, you just really need to work on your self-worth this year, feeling worthy of what it is that you want. And overall, just be careful in making decisions. These challenged animals in these years need to be taking their time with making decisions. Make your health a priority, manage your stress. The cool thing about tigers is if you've had a dream about backpacking around the world, this is the year to do it. So if you've been thinking about doing that, do it this year. That will be really, really good for you. Okay, last but not least, our little rabbits. And again, our rabbits are challenged this year. Last year was the year of the rabbit. The rabbits were born in March. I have that rabbit energy for my birth month. And the years are listed on the screen. The birth time is between 5 and 7 a.m. Rabbits just don't have a lot of help this year. That's part of their problem. They also need to really watch their mindset. There can be some psychological based issues. So don't feed into the fears or the worries. It's going to be super important for rabbits this year to meditate, to do breath work, to exercise, to walk, like all of those things that help raise your vibration and keep your mind clear. Those are going to be things that you really need to do this year. And then again, just like any of the other challenge animals, if you're taking any sort of action, it's calculated risks. Don't be impulsive. Don't make quick decisions. Take your time making decisions, all of that kind of thing. You do have some spiritual support this year, which we all do all of the time, but you have a little bit extra spiritual support. So your prayers get answered. So, be putting them out there. You also have sort of this broadband access to getting what you want. If you're using good dates, visiting sacred places, that type of thing. So pay attention to my decision dates. If you're not on my newsletter, make sure that you click the link below to grab the free gift, which will pop you on my newsletter. And then every week you get the dates of when good energy is to do things. And then the biggest thing for rabbits this year is the magic happens for you outside of your comfort zone. So you're going to need to push yourself to do those things that you maybe are a little bit uncomfortable doing. That's going to create your breakthrough this year. So that's going to be super important for you this year. So excited to hear. I would love for you guys to post in the comments below what you learned and what you're most looking forward to this year. You can even put in your animals if you want, the animals that you are this year. And I am looking forward to seeing you on the next video. Aloha.